Part 38. Super God System becomes infinitely stronger. Author, Shu Xiangzike. Chapter 371. The guards who were monitoring several experts around immediately reported the good news to their superiors through their earphones. However, an unexpected situation occurred. One of the armored guards with a beard and a scar on his face suddenly attacked all the armored guards and white-clothed experts at the scene at the same time. He used a very fast martial art. When he took action, it was as if he had 1,000 arms. He knocked down all the people around him in almost an instant. The armored guard turned around and entered the door that had just been opened. This guard is not one of us. Someone sneaked in. I want to report. Hey. Li Long, who was at the corner of the corridor, was about to report. Suddenly, a hand next to him hit him on the back. Li Long fell down dizzy. When he fell down, he saw the person who knocked him out. It was Chu Wei, who he said he would take care of after reaching the awakened realm. Brother, you. Before Li Long finished speaking, he fainted. You can take a rest here. Chu Wei carried Li Long on his back and took a few steps forward, putting him together with several other guards who fell outside the gate. At this moment, in the open cockpit, the guard who had just entered walked through the entire cockpit and came to a high platform. This cockpit is the same as the cockpit of another alien spaceship that Chu Wei had entered at the bottom of the sea in Linhai City, with glass screens everywhere. It's like a huge office space. On the high platform in the front is the largest screen, and there is a joystick that can be controlled with both hands to control the spaceship. In the spaceship in Linhai City, when Chu Wei put his hand on the joystick, the whole spaceship lit up. This is. The armored guard looked at the iron box-like thing next to the joystick, and his eyes showed surprise. This iron box looks like it is made of a special material, and it looks like a gray book from a distance. Take it back and study it slowly. The armored guard seemed to be unsure whether it was a treasure or not, and reached out to take it away. The thing is mine. Accompanied by a voice, a person who was also an armored guard flashed from the door and came to the gray iron box. It was Chu Wei. The armored guard was startled. He didn't expect that. He just turned around and the other party came to him in an instant. Space formation. The armored guard almost said this subconsciously. But Chu Wei didn't care so much. He stretched out his hand and took the gray iron box in his hand. Damn it, I've been waiting here for so long, and you actually want to kill me halfway, the armored guard was furious. However, what was surprising was that his voice was a woman. Obviously, the beard and scars on his face were all made up. Leave the thing for me. The woman waved her arm, and thousands of gray vines went directly to Chu Wei. Those vines were like the roots of a giant tree. It was like a gray python. Chu Wei frowned, and at the same time his back shook, and the flying blade wings appeared directly. Facing the opponent's thousands of vines, Chu Wei's flying blade wings turned into 208 flying blades, which kept cutting around Chu Wei. Cut off the vines, attacking Chu Wei one by one. The broken vines fell to the ground and disappeared immediately. Level 3 equipment. The woman was slightly surprised and took out a rapier in her hand. This rapier was like an iron chain, composed of hexagonal iron pieces. Apparently, she also took out a level 3 equipment. You are only at the 6th level of Awakeners. You can't take this thing away today. The woman shouted angrily. Although she was shouting, her voice was very nice, making people want to listen to it a few more times. If there were boys who were obsessed with voices here, then just based on this woman's voice, they might fall in love with this woman. Super God System becomes infinitely stronger. Author, Shu Xiangzike. Chapter 372. You are only at the 9th level of the Awakened One. Now get out of the way and I won't do anything to you. Although this woman attacked him just now, her target was just the box, and she didn't think of hurting herself when she attacked. Chu Wei held the gray iron box in one hand and looked at the entire cab with the corner of his eye. There is almost nothing else in the entire cab, only this gray iron box. If there is a treasure, it is only this gray iron box. That's right, Chu Wei frowned and remembered something. At that moment, he put his hand on the remote control lever of the spacecraft not far away. You're crazy. However, with just such an action, the face of the woman with a beard and a scarred face changed drastically, but it was too late to stop her. According to what Chu Wei did on another spacecraft, as long as he puts his hand on the remote control stick, the entire spacecraft will light up. At the same time, a galaxy diagram of 3 suns will appear on the ceiling of the cab. And the most important thing is that the whereabouts of other spaceships will appear on the largest screen in front of you. And obviously, the woman opposite seemed to know it too. Chu Wei frowned, his hand was already on the remote control stick, but this time, the spacecraft did not light up. Seeing that the spacecraft did not light up, the woman breathed a sigh of relief. Then he said angrily, you know what? If this spaceship had lit up just now and attracted by 2 here, I'm afraid we would all die here today. Chu Wei smiled disdainfully, don't talk about us, you may die, but I won't. The woman's beard stood up in anger, and she said, you little brother, you look quite handsome, but when you talk, you are really arrogant. You don't know if I'm a she-male or not. You're not the first one to say I'm crazy, but then they all thought I had it. The woman was furious and pointed at Chu Wei, you are a she-male. Chu Wei ignored her lazily. Since the spaceship couldn't light up, the map couldn't be seen. Chu Wei glanced at the iron box in his hand again. Chu Wei was slightly surprised. If this thing was a treasure, then the system should have prompted it. Isn't this a treasure? Chu Wei curiously entered a trace of spiritual energy into the box. He heard that some treasures require the input of spiritual energy to reveal their true form. After Chu Wei's spiritual energy entered the box indeed emitted a burst of gray light. Chu Wei was slightly startled. The woman holding the sword opposite was also slightly stunned, as if she had not expected that this gray box was actually emitting an unknown light. For a moment she forgot about snatching. In the eyes of Chu Wei and the woman, the box opened with a click, sound in the gray light, and a blue projection immediately appeared after opening. The projection formed a virtual computer screen in front of Chu Wei, and at the same time, a robotic voice sounded along with the computer screen. Dear Major Mo Soon, please enter the password correctly. What is in the box is the most confidential document of this energy operation. If the password is incorrect 3 times, the document will be automatically destroyed. Repeat it again, and if the password is incorrect 3 times, the file will be automatically destroyed. Password. Chu Wei looked at the password box that popped up on the virtual computer screen in front of him. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Super God System becomes infinitely stronger. Author, Shuxiang ZK. Chapter 373. Chu Wei was stunned for a moment, but then he thought that no matter what treasure it was, he should take it away first. This is Bai Tu's place anyway. Although he is not afraid of him, Chu Wei doesn't want to fight with the masters of the Great Awakened Realm just looking for trouble. With a pop, Chu Wei closed the open iron box and threw it into his system space. The woman opposite saw Chu Wei put away the iron box, and then she reacted. Give me the box, you can't take this thing, the woman finally reacted. She seems to know that this box is not simple. Haha, Chu Wei smiled, of course, baby, of course you want to take it the most. Hey. You. The woman seemed to be angry at Chu Wei's words, and said, this is really not about the treasure, this thing may be related to that matter. Why? Even if I tell you, you won't understand. In short, if you take this thing, it may not only be useless to you, but also a disaster. Chu Wei smiled lightly and said, "Do you think I'm stupid?" "Woman, you're not stupid. That's all. Now that you know I'm not stupid, do you think I will hand over what I got?" "Okay, I won't tell you so much, you'd better not stop me," Chu Wei said lightly, and at the same time, he moved to leave here. The woman immediately stopped in front. "You can't leave until you hand over your things. If you don't hand over your things, I will use force." "Did you move just now?" Chu Wei said. "I just grabbed something and didn't intend to hurt you, but now it's a big deal and I can't care about that much anymore." Chu Wei said calmly, "I just saw that you didn't intend to hurt me, so I talked so much nonsense to you, otherwise, I would have slapped you away." "Oh, you little brother, I'm really..." The woman was furious, her body shook, and she emitted level 9 spiritual energy fluctuations of an awakened person. "Do you really want me to do it? Many people at level 9 of the awakened have said such things in front of me, but 3 waves of such people have fallen under my fists. You are talking big words, look at the sword." The woman moved her hand, and the thin sword continued to lengthen like an iron chain to attack Chu Wei. Chu Wei's body was shaken, and the 208 flying blades floating beside his body automatically defended. Although the opponent's rapier attacks quickly and has variable angles, it can't do anything to Chu Wei. "The quality of your third-level equipment is of the highest quality," the woman was slightly surprised. With her level 9 awakened strength and the thin sword in her hand, she could not break the opponent's wings. "Chu Wei, your third-level equipment is inferior and not good enough." The beard of the woman who was ridiculed twitched angrily. "If you don't show some real skills, you don't know how powerful my sister is." I saw the woman's left hand patting her right hand holding the sword, and then the aura was outlined on her right hand, and a pentagonal aura pattern was formed. "It's actually a formation, and it's a second-level formation master." The woman waved her rapier, and the second-order formation was integrated into the rapier. In an instant, the rapier seemed to be covered with a layer of golden light, and its power increased greatly. Touch! 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 A few times, the flying blades around Chu Wei were bounced away. And the thin sword went directly towards Chu Wei's chest. The flying blades around Chu Wei's body immediately moved toward his chest to defend himself, and the flying blades formed a shield. Super God System becomes infinitely stronger. Author, Shu Xiangzike. Chapter 374. Ding, the rapier hit the shield. Shrink, Chu Wei's body retreated more than 10 meters under the impact. And red dragon scales lit up on Chu Wei's body in an instant. After the attack of this woman was added with the formation bonus of the formation master, the power increased greatly, and she actually beat him back. You should know that after Chu Wei entered the 6th level of Awakener, even if he only used 3rd level equipment, it would be difficult for anyone among the Awakeners to compete with him. Because Chu Wei's 3rd level equipment is top-notch, and his 3rd level equipment is repaired from broken 4th level equipment. Although it is not as powerful as the attack and defense of the Great Awakener, but it is much greater than the general 3rd level equipment. It can be said that if this woman only has a long sword in her hand, then Chu Wei only uses the wings of the flying blade, and this woman can't beat him. However, in the collision just now, Chu Wei was at a disadvantage, entirely because of the formation blessing of this woman. 2nd level formation master. Chu Wei frowned slightly. He didn't expect that the woman he didn't care about before was actually quite powerful. The profession of the formation master can fight across levels. This woman is at the 9th level of awakening. If she uses the formation to bless, then even if she can't beat the Great Awakening, she will definitely be only a little bit worse than the Great Awakening. This woman is definitely not comparable to the Xylo Double Killer or Lu Zhenshan. Little brother, I really can't think of it. You actually have a physique. No wonder you are so arrogant. The woman looked at the red dragon scales on Chu Wei and said, with some appreciation in her eyes, but then she was a little disappointed. She said to herself, he has such a good talent, he actually has a physical fitness, but it's a pity that he is not a formation engraver, otherwise, with his talent, he might be able to help my Yan family. Hey! Don't think so much, take the iron box back first. Thinking of this, she looked at Chu Wei, little brother, I ask you again, will you give me the box? This box is very important to me. If you give me the box, I will remember your favor. You can't beat me. Chu Wei smiled, don't say it as if you have already defeated me. The woman was angry, you are a guy with good talent, but your brain is not very good. Why are you so stubborn? After seeing Chu Wei's talent, the woman admired Chu Wei's potential very much. She didn't want to offend Chu Wei, but now it seems that it won't work. You are too proud. You should know that I only used 3 layers of power just now. I am a formation engraver. Now I will let you see the true strength of a formation engraver. The woman moved her right hand. She was about to engrave the formation. However, the next second, Chu Wei moved his body and instantly came in front of the woman, and 2 big hands with red scales instantly grabbed the other's hands. If you are not allowed to carve the formation, you will be useless, Chu Wei said lightly. The woman was obviously not expecting to be grabbed by Chu Wei. 4 superpowers lit up in the woman's body, and she had to rely on spiritual energy to force Chu Wei away. However, Chu Wei's body also lit up 4 superpowers, and at the same time, the light of the formation that had been carved long ago appeared on his hands, and the powerful force directly suppressed the woman. When the woman saw the formation on Chu Wei's hand, her eyes were immediately shocked, you are also a formation carver, and, you dare to carve the formation on your body. Super God System becomes infinitely stronger. Author, Shu Xiangzike. Chapter 375. Engrave the formation on your body, and activate it directly when you need it, without temporary engraving. This method is not unique to Chu Wei. Many years ago, this method was circulated among the formation engravers, but it was too dangerous. When the formation was activated, your body was injured by the formation before the enemy was hurt. There are very few bodies that can withstand the formation engraved on the body, so few people did it later. After all, if it is serious, you may be killed by your own formation. Of course, if this person has a special physique and can withstand the damage of the formation. That's different, then this person is born to practice the formation engraving, and is the most powerful formation engraving master. You are also a formation engraving master. The woman's voice was extremely surprised. And at this moment she forgot to struggle. Seeing that the superpowers on the woman disappeared, Chu Wei's superpowers also subsided, but his hands were still holding the woman's hands. Chu Wei didn't want this woman to suddenly attack him as soon as he let go. That's right, Chu Wei replied calmly. After hearing the definite answer, the woman began to think in her eyes, then gritted her teeth and said, the iron box belongs to you, I won't fight with you for it. You can't fight me, Chu Wei said calmly. The woman said angrily, you don't have a single nice word in your mouth. Chu Wei was speechless. You are an enemy, what nice words should I say to you? Why don't you let me go? How long do you want to hold me? The woman said. Chu Wei then noticed that he grabbed the woman's hand from the back, so if it looked like he was hugging her from the back like a couple. Moreover, although the other person was wearing armor, the two were so close, so Chu Wei could clearly smell the fragrance of the other person. It was a kind of fragrance that was a little tempting to men, anyway, it smelled good. But Chu Wei immediately let go of the other person. After all, he had few relationships and had no experience in taking advantage of others. And it seemed that this was the first time he hugged a woman from behind. The woman seemed to see through Chu Wei's thoughts, and immediately said teasingly, little brother, Isn't this your first time hugging a girl? How is it possible? If he said that it was his first time hugging a girl from behind, it would be more or less embarrassing, and he would look too unsophisticated. After all, when he was in school, I don't know how many of those seniors and juniors had been in love. And generally, those who have never been in love are considered ugly and unwanted. Although Chu Wei had an agreement with Mo Kongxiu, she left before they even started dating. So Chu Wei still hasn't had a real girlfriend. How is it impossible? I see your face is red. I didn't expect that such a handsome little brother like you has never had a girlfriend. No wonder you are so strong. It turns out that you have used the time others spend in love to become stronger. Chu Wei was too lazy to answer, and immediately walked out. Hey, how about we make a deal after we go out? The woman followed Chu Wei's footsteps and said. What are the benefits? Of course there are benefits. You can get the mutation crystal. Chu Wei stopped. The mutation crystal is a high-grade mutation source. If the energy in a mutation source is 100, then the energy in a mutation crystal is 10,000. The difference between the two is 100 times. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Super God System becomes infinitely stronger. Author, Xu Xiangzike. Chapter 376. The three medium mutation sources Chu Wei had taken before were worth 30 billion spiritual energy, and one was worth 10 billion spiritual energy. Then, if it was a medium mutation crystal, it would be worth 1 trillion spiritual energy. And now his upgraded spiritual energy is 256 billion. If he can get a mutation crystal, even if it is just one mutation crystal, Chu Wei can level up more than 2 levels. Seeing that Chu Wei had stopped, the woman smiled triumphantly. It seemed that her offer had moved the other party. She said, let's go out first, and we'll talk about it later. Chu Wei nodded without hesitation. The powerful upgrade resource of the mutation crystal was too attractive to him, because he wanted to become stronger. I didn't expect that someone would enter this room earlier than me, Mo Jingxian. You are really brave. A voice came from the door. It turned out that a young man in gorgeous clothes and with a dignified face had stood at the door at some point. The woman and Chu Wei were both slightly surprised. With Chu Wei's keen perception, he didn't even feel when Mo Jingxian arrived at the door, because Chu Wei's body was facing the door sideways. Chu Wei was about to turn around and look at the door. Don't look at him first, the woman grabbed Chu Wei, and at the same time, she grabbed something from her storage space and smeared it on Chu Wei's face. When the woman finished, Chu Wei's face had turned green, and there was a little fragrance. It seems that this is the mud that women use to maintain their faces. Okay, he won't recognize us after applying this. If this guy remembers us, it will be miserable. Mo Jingxian's origin is too extraordinary. No need to apply it. I don't plan to know who you are, because no matter who you are, you will die. Mo Jingxian's faint tone at the door was like a high and mighty ruler. Chu Wei turned his head to look at Mo Jingxian. It was indeed him. Chu Wei had seen him once at the door of Pudong Chamber of Commerce, and he still gave people a sense of danger. Even the nine-headed dragon in the Great Awakener realm in the Linhai City spaceship did not give Chu Wei this feeling. However, Chu Wei felt a little excited in his heart, and he was finally going to fight with Mo Jingxian. If I die, then you must die first, Chu Wei said lightly. The woman next to him was shocked. This little brother really dared to say anything. Didn't he know who was in front of him? Mo Jingxian smiled lightly, without getting angry, and said, you don't look young, you may die young soon. Then what are you waiting for? Chu Wei's back shook. The flying blade wings that had just been retracted have appeared, and at the same time, a spiritual coat appeared on his body. With a shake of his hand, The super tech spear appeared in Chu Wei's hand. A complete set of third-level equipment has appeared. A complete set of garbage, Mo Jingxian said lightly. He didn't even take a closer look at the third-level equipment on Chu Wei's body. Chu Wei did not answer, but clenched his fist, and the red dragon scales and vertical pupils on his body reappeared. As for the physique, this is a bit good. The physique that was so surprising in the eyes of others was not too surprising in the eyes of Mo Jingxian. It was as if this thing was just ordinary. Chu Wei's body Tang lit up 5 superpowers in addition to the devouring superpower. Mo Jingxian's eyes finally showed a trace of emotion. I didn't expect you to have 5 superpowers. Your talent is not bad, but it's a pity that you are destined to die young. Although Mo Jingxian only had a trace of emotion, the woman next to Chu Wei saw Chu Wei, who was now almost at full power. Her eyes were no longer surprised, but shocked. The talent shown by this boy, whom she had always called her little brother, could only be described as terrifying at this moment. Super God System becomes infinitely stronger. Author, Xu Xiangzike. Chapter 377. First of all, it was the physique. Of course, she had seen this before. It was because of the physique that she thought Chu Wei was a genius. Of course, with her knowledge, it was not the first time she saw the physique. So when Chu Wei showed his physique, she was just surprised that she had found a guy with good talent. Then Chu Wei showed his ability as a formation engraver, which made her look at him with new eyes. The formation engraver was originally a profession that was 1 in a million. This can be seen from the fact that Luo Peng, the son of the Lord of Taiyuan City, wanted to become a formation engraver. And the most important thing is that Chu Wei's physique and formation engraver are combined into one, which made her determined to give up the iron box and want to cooperate with Chu Wei instead. Because just based on these 2 points, she can almost be sure that Chu Wei must have a place in the future leaders of the United Nations. However, what she didn't expect was that in addition to physique and formation engraver, Chu Wei actually had 5 superpowers. This means that Chu Wei is also a person with extremely strong talent in spiritual cultivation. From this point of view, Chu Wei not only has physique, but also the ability of formation engraver, and now he is a spiritual genius. Chu Wei has great potential. No one she has ever seen can be so good in so many aspects. We must cooperate. Our Yan family is saved. If this is the capital of your pride in front of me, then I can only say that you are vulnerable. As soon as Mo Jingxian's voice fell, his figure at the door disappeared immediately. The next second, he appeared behind Chu Wei. An ordinary punch was thrown. The fist formed by the ice power on the fist seemed to be able to freeze the surrounding air. Chu Wei's body was not slow either. He turned around and shot. Chu Wei used all his strength to attack with this shot. He wanted to see what was so great about Mo Jingxian. Bang! The spear and the ice fist collided. The huge gust of wind swept the entire room like a wave when they collided. Bang! 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 The glass screens in the room that were as high as a person broke one after another in this huge gust of wind. Swoosh! A figure was knocked back in the gust of wind. When he landed, his feet kept rubbing along the ground. It was Chu Wei. Chu Wei thrust his spear into the ground, trying to stop his retreat. However, the spear rubbed against the ground, and Chu Wei's body was still retreating. When he retreated to the wall of the room, Chu Wei pressed his palm against the wall. With a bang sound, the whole wall shook slightly, and Chu Wei's retreating figure stopped. The force of Mo Jingxian's casual punch was so great. Chu Wei looked at Mo Jingxian with his eyes. From this punch, Chu Wei could see that Mo Jingxian was definitely the first master he had met after Ma Renfen. The title of the great demon king of the Imperial Capital Academy was indeed not called for nothing. He actually blocked Mo Jingxian's punch. The woman quickly came to Chu Wei, looked at Chu Wei, and found that Chu Wei seemed to be uninjured except for retreating in the previous punch. This little brother is incredible. If he grows to Mo Jingxuan's age in a few years, Mo Jingxian may not be his opponent. The woman was surprised. Your punch is not that good, Chu Wei looked at Mo Jingxian and said lightly. Haha, Mo Jingxian smiled, you are so stubborn. I was just playing with you just now. You have to die today, and no matter what treasures you have obtained in this room, you can't take them away. Because those are my things, Mo Jingxian, and no one is qualified to touch them. Super God system becomes infinitely stronger. Author, Xu Xiangzike. Chapter 378. Chu Wei smiled, haha. What belongs to you, Mo Jingxian? No one can get a hold of it? Do you think you are the emperor? Mo Jingxian smiled arrogantly, to you, I am the emperor. If I ask you to die, you will die. Haha, Chu Wei laughed wildly, if you let me die, I will die. Do you know that if I let you, you can die too? Anyone can say that if you want to show off, but unfortunately, the result between you and me is destined to be that you die in my hands, because you are just like an ant. Okay, I've said so much to you, you've lived for so long, it's time to be satisfied and go die. Mo Jingxian held it with one hand, and a golden longsword slowly emerged from his palm. This was the shape of the supernatural power in his body. The longsword was gleaming with golden light, and there was lightning surrounding it, and the air around it was filled with a soft crackle of crack. Not good. The woman on the side screamed in surprise, and Mo Jingxian transformed into a longsword. It seemed that he really had murderous intentions. If Chu Wei is a genius, then Mo Jingxian has long been a famous master in the minds of many people. A golden longsword has turned countless people into dead souls under the sword. Chu Wei frowned, and the devouring power in his body was secretly mobilizing. Today was destined to be a big battle. However, at this moment, the woman's figure suddenly came to Chu Wei's side, and at the same time, a golden light lit up on her hands. It's a formation. The woman waved her hand, and the golden formation covered her and Chu Wei. This is the teleportation array, Chu Wei said subconsciously. I heard that there is an extremely secret formation among the formation carvers. If a formation is carved in one place, people will encounter danger when they go to another place. Then when the formation engraver activates the formation, he can teleport from another place to the place where the formation was carved before. This formation is called a teleportation formation. I heard that this formation technique is extremely secretive among the formation carving masters. It can be said that it is a secret that is not passed down. Even Mo Fa, the highest level 4th level formation carving master in the current alliance, does not know this secret technique. But how could this woman? Who is she? Want to run? Mo Jingxian shouted softly. Obviously, he did not expect to encounter the legendary teleportation array, and he waved the golden sword. A huge golden sword energy dozens of meters wide, carrying lightning bolts, headed directly towards the two of them. When the sword energy passed by, it seemed to be carrying a layer of air waves. Such an attack was too terrifying. However, he was a step too slow, and the sword energy had not yet arrived. Chu Wei and the woman's figure had disappeared in the golden formation. Boom, with a sound, the golden sword energy dozens of meters wide hit the steel wall in the room. Although it did not cut through the extremely hard wall of the spacecraft, it caused the whole room to shake slightly. Can you escape? Mo Jingxian muttered to himself, took out his cell phone, and said to the person on the other end, Bai Tu, you are really good at doing things. You didn't even know that two mice entered the last room. What? Bai Tu on the other end of the phone stood up immediately in surprise. Now you immediately go search around the Grand Canyon. The targets are two people wearing black armor. They should have taken away the treasures in the room and brought them back. If you can't handle this little thing, you don't have to come back. Mo Jingxian hung up the phone casually. After looking at everything in this room, Mo Jingxian did not go after Chu Wei and the woman himself. In Mo Jingxuan's opinion, even if Chu Wei was talented, but it wasn't worth Mo Jingxuan's personal pursuit. He has his own way of doing things. Outside the Grand Canyon, Chu Wei and the woman appeared next to a huge boulder. Chu Wei looked around, and they were here just now with a flash of golden formation. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Super God system becomes infinitely stronger. Author, Xu Xiangzike. Chapter 379. This formation master's teleportation formation is really amazing. Chu Wei was clearly in the spaceship just now, but appeared outside the Grand Canyon in the next second. Let's go. Mo Jingxian and Bai Tu will definitely catch up soon. The woman said with rapid breathing. You just consumed a lot. You think? The woman rolled her eyes at Chu Wei. The teleportation formation consumes a lot of energy, and with you, a big living person, the consumption is naturally even greater. Okay, stop talking so much. If Bai Tu and Mo Jingxian catch up, then we really can't run away. Maybe we don't have to run, we can kill them, Chu Wei said lightly, his eyes full of murderous intent. Mo Jingxian compared himself to the emperor just now, which really made Chu Wei extremely displeased. If the woman hadn't pulled him out just now, Chu Wei might have killed him with a self-destruct talisman. The other party actually said that if Mo Jingxian asked me to die, I must die. I'll let him die first. You are very talented, but you are not Mo Jingxuan's opponent now. When you are 20 years old, I believe Mo Jingxian will definitely not be your opponent. But let's go now. There is no need to show off here, the woman said anxiously. How could this little brother beat Mo Jingxian? As long as the other party is a little serious, the two of them will be finished immediately. Chu Wei, if you don't believe it, I can't help it. Okay, I know that failure is very difficult for a person to accept, and a person with outstanding talent like you must have never failed along the way, so it is not psychologically comfortable. I can understand that you want to save face. But sometimes we have to face the reality clearly. If we can't beat him, we can't beat him. It's not shameful. When we become stronger in the future, we will fight back. As the woman spoke, she panted more heavily. It seems that the teleportation array just now consumed her a lot. Chu Wei looked at the woman. Take her away first, Chu Wei said to himself. Now she probably doesn't even have the strength to protect herself or escape. Faced with the woman's disbelief, Chu Wei was too lazy to care for the time being, as the woman was too weak now. If a fight breaks out later, with so many people involved, she will definitely die. Also, this time we successfully escaped from Mo Jingxuan's hands and took away the treasure he had obtained, which was enough to anger him to death. We made a lot of money. The woman smiled, and the beard she had put on with makeup was about to fall off. Chu Wei had no choice but to carry the woman on his back and ran outside. Just then, a series of alarms sounded in the base in the Grand Canyon, and at the same time, teams of armored guards began to search all around the Grand Canyon. They are starting to chase us, said the woman. Yeah. Chu Wei moved his footsteps and went to the periphery as fast as the wind. Not long after Chu Wei left here, a man with black wings landed from the sky and looked around. He said, it seems that they ran away from this place. They dared to steal treasures in my Bai Tu's territory. They simply didn't know how to live or die. If I don't cut you into pieces, do you think my name too is in vain? Bai Tu moved his body and spread his wings to chase. At the same time, he circulated his spiritual energy and shouted loudly, who are you? If you have the ability to stop and fight with me, Bai Tu, What's the point of running away? Baitu's voice was like ripples, constantly spreading to the surroundings, and it was heard from a distance of who knows how many miles. No, it's a sonic search skill. The woman on Chu Wei's back changed her face. Super God system becomes infinitely stronger. Author, Xu Xiangzike. Chapter 380. Chu Wei frowned slightly. This was the first time Chu Wei had heard of this sonic search technology. I'm afraid Baitu will know our location soon, so just use your wings to escape. Chu Wei looked at the surrounding woods. At this time, they were already running in the woods. With so many obstacles, could Baitu have clairvoyance and find him? The woman said with some despair, I'm afraid you don't know the sonic search technique. Although this kind of martial arts is useless in a battle. But wherever his sound waves pass, he can detect where people are moving quickly. So Baitu already knows our location now. If we are caught up, we may be in trouble. Chu Wei interrupted and said in a cold tone, if he doesn't catch up, forget it. If he must catch up, he is looking for death. The woman on the back was stunned and looked at Chu Wei's profile. Although she didn't know if what Chu Wei said was true, at this moment, she was weak, and it seemed that only this kind of confident words could reassure her the most. Chu Wei, who was running, hugged the woman from his back, fluttered the wings on his back, and flew away. Since the opponent will find his position in the woods, it will be much faster to fly directly. At this moment, where Baitu was, Baitu's ears moved, as if the sound waves he had just shouted returned to his ears. Your position is over there, you can't escape. Baitu jumped up, and the wings formed by black superpowers flew directly towards Chu Wei. His speed was very fast, and when he soared into the sky, a strong wind blew around him, causing all the trees to sway. Chu Wei's speed in the front is not slow either, although Chu Wei's other third-level equipment is not as good as the Great Awakener in terms of attack and defense. However, the flying speed of Chu Wei's flying blade wings is extremely fast. When flying at full strength, it is like a strong wind blowing by. You'd better put me down, the woman said, your wings are not slow. If you run away alone, even Baitu may not be able to catch up with you. But if you take me with you, the two of us will definitely be caught up by him. Chu Wei replied calmly, don't talk nonsense. Chu Wei's wings fluttered and he flew faster. At the same time, while flying forward, Chu Wei secretly calculated in his heart. If you are facing Baitu at this moment, there must be no other guards around, because other guards cannot be as fast as Baitu. If there were no other guards and he was just fighting Baitu, he wouldn't have to worry about the woman's safety. Thinking of this, a murderous look appeared in Chu Wei's eyes. But then he shook his head. It's not impossible to kill Baitu, but I guess I'll have to use a self-destruct talisman. But what is a self-destruct talisman? That is something that can kill even the ultimate awakened person. If it is used on a Baitu, Chu Wei always feels that Baitu's life is not worth it. Two mice, how long have you been planning to escape under my nose, Baitu? Even if you know how to drill holes, I, Baitu, will catch you and then cut you to pieces. Baitu's voice came from behind Chu Wei again, and the distance where he heard the voice was closer than last time. Chu Wei's wings vibrated and he flew quickly again. After a few minutes, he said, two mice, I have seen your tails, why don't you just stop and wait for death? A few minutes later, two mice, even if you fly over the sea of people, I, Baitu, will catch you. Ha ha ha, finally, I caught you. When Chu Wei's figure flew over several mountains and was already a long way away from the Grand Canyon of the spaceship, Baitu's figure finally surpassed Chu Wei. Baitu waved his hand, and a blade of sword energy streaked across the sky.